Hello students. Now previously we have discussed about how to obtain the force from the differential between the differential current element. Now today as we'll discuss about the magnetic boundary conditions. So already we have discussed the boundary condition in electrostatic field. The condition of magnetic field existing at the boundary of two media when magnetic field passes from one medium to the other are called as boundary conditions. That is, if the condition between existing between the two media when the magnetic field passes from one medium to other medium, that is a boundary conditions, and simply it is called as magnetic boundary conditions. So when we consider a boundary condition of B and H, that should be studied at the boundary. Now the boundary between two differential magnetic material is considered. Now to study conditions of B and H at the boundary, both vectors are resolved into components. One is tangential to boundary and other is normal or perpendicular to the boundary. Now you can see over here we should have no difficulty in arriving at the proper boundary conditions to apply to B, H and M at interface between two magnetic materials, for we have solved similar problem for both conducting material and dielectrics. So we need no new techniques. So means it is same as we have discussed in the previous electrostatic field, hence we don't need any new technique. So this is a figure you can observe over here. So the Gaussian surface where it's having a length as delta H and it is having a Bn1, Bn2, Hn2, Bn2, that is perpendicular to the normal perpendicular components, that is normal to the surface, and these two are difference permeability mu1, mu2, right? Now consider a boundary between two isotropic homogeneous linear material with different permeabilities mu1, mu2, right? So this is above figure between two isotropic homogeneous medium. Now to determine the boundary condition, let us use the closed path. This is a closed path and one Gaussian surface. Now first, as I told, there are two components of a vector resolved. Now first we will see the boundary condition on the normal components is determined by allowing the surface to cut a small cylindrical Gaussian surface. Then here the height of the cylinder be delta H and it be placed in such a way that delta H2 is in one medium and delta H by 2 is in another medium. So also the axis of cylinder should be normal to the surface. To evaluate the normal components, we have to consider this Gaussian surface. Now applying the Gauss law for the magnetic field, then we know that integration over closed surface is nothing but B dot ds is equal to 0. So this B dot ds must be evaluated over the three surface of this Gaussian surface. That is first top surface, bottom surface and lateral surfaces, that is side surfaces. So let the area of top and bottom is same and equal to delta S. This is delta S. The area of top and bottom is same and it is equal to delta S. Now we'll get the equation as integration over closed surface for top is B dot ds plus integration over closed surface for bottom B dot ds plus integration over closed surface for lateral, that is sides, B dot ds is equal to 0. Now here, as we are very much interested to the boundary condition, reduce delta h to 0. Reduce this height delta h to 0. As delta h tends to 0, the cylinder tends to boundary and only top and bottom surface contributes to the surface integral, where side surfaces is 0. That is, if you make delta h 0, only the top surface and bottom surface will contribute to the surface integral. So as the surfaces are very small, let the magnitude of normal component of B be Bn1, this one, and Bn2 for bottom surface. So we can assume that Bn1 and Bn2 are constant over their surface. Now as I already have told, that is integration over closed surface for top is B dot ds. It can be written, that is nothing but Bn1 integration over closed surface for top, just it is ds. Therefore finally we get the equation as Bn1 delta s, and similarly you will get for bottom, that is Bn2 delta s, and for lateral it is 0. So therefore we get, put these values Bn1 delta s in the equation of total. So we get Bn1 delta s minus Bn2 delta s. So therefore Bn1 delta s is equal to Bn2 delta s. So Bn1 is equal to Bn2. This is the first normal component of B is continuous at the boundary, or that is first point for B. Bn2 is nothing but equal to Bn2, and if you want in terms of magnetic field intensity, B is nothing but mu into H. So mu1 Hn1 is equal to mu2 Hn2. Hence we get this equation Hn1 by Hn2 is equal to mu2 by mu1. Or you can use this equation Mn2 is equal to G of M2 by is into mu1 by mu2 Hn1. That is nothing but G of M2 by G of M1 mu1 by mu2 into Mn1. So this is the boundary conditions for magnetic flux density and magnetic field intensity, B and H. Bn1 is equal to Bn2, that is first one, and Hn1 by Hn2 is equal to mu2 by mu1, or mu r2 by mu r1. Right? Now let us see the boundary conditions for tangential component. So for that we need to apply Ampere circuit law, that is integration over closed surface H dot dl is equal to I is applied to the small closed path, that is this one, which is having a tangential component of Ht1 HT2 or second surface, and this is del L length. So now taking a clockwise strip around the path, we find, so as h dot dl is I, we have to include this h dot dl is equal to I for all the whole closed surface. Then we get the value of this, that is ht1 del L minus ht2 del L is equal to k into del L. So where we assume that boundary may carry a surface current K whose normal component to the plane of closed path is K. So thus ht1 minus ht2 is equal to K. The directions are more specified exactly by using cross product to identify tangential component. Therefore h1 minus h2 cross an12 is equal to K, and equivalent formulation in terms of vector tangential component may be more convenient for H, that is ht1 minus ht2 is equal to an2 n12 cross K. For tangential B, it is bt1 minus bt1 by mu1 minus bt2 by mu2 is equal to K. The boundary conditions on tangential component of magnetization for linear material is mt2 is equal to chi of m2 by chi of m1, mt1 minus chi of m2 into K. So the last three boundary conditions on tangential component are much simpler if the current density is 0. So this is free current density, and it must be 0 if neither material is conductor. This is about the boundary conditions for tangential surface ht1 and ht2 and bt1 and bt2. Therefore this is about total magnetic boundary condition.